So weird. Why does it do that? Shows that it's not playing yet. All right, videos. Today's date is the 5th. This is live yet. INDICES. Okay, cool. Let me get this on the social media real quick, and then we can get started. Grab this link. Put it on the Instagram. Hey guys, how's it going? I'm gonna give it some time for people to hop in. I'm gonna post this on the Instagram real quick. Let's see. My phone's all freaking dirty. Turn on the light too. All right. I feel like standing. Let's put the standing desk up. All right, cool. Desk is getting up right now. Post this on the IG. Let's see. Let's get this swipe up going. All right, cool. Hey guys, how's it going? Let's see. There's only a few people in right now, so we did start a little late. Sorry guys, I was on another call. We were going over this new US 30 strategy that it's actually really good. Hey, see, how's it going? Yeah, I was going over this new US 30 strategy with one of the guys. I'm gonna keep his name confidential, but we were going over the strategy, and it's actually super accurate. So I don't know if I'm going to release it to you guys. It's something that I think me and the other member might just be using on our own because it's super profitable. So I don't think it's one that we really want to share with people, but we'll, maybe I'll show you guys what it looks like, but I'm probably not going to, release the details of the strategy, but we'll see. I mean, who knows? Now velocity, it's different. It's on the 15-minute. So if you look on the 15-minute here, this is the strategy that we were looking over. Look at all these wins. literally straight wins, but it still needs a lot of work. But literally it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like 9 back-to-back US 30 wins. It's a ton of money right there. So this is something that I might be using personally, me and the other member. But I'm not going to say his name because he's probably going to be like, why did I tell you guys? But I'll probably show you guys how I do it once I've figured everything out. I'm gonna do a back test because we did a small sample back test, and it was about like it was like over an 85% win rate, which is crazy, especially for US 30. I mean, there's gonna be losses here and there, but it's super accurate to the point where it's like I'll eat those losses and I'll just keep taking all the wins. But yeah, I'll probably go over it later. Not today, but maybe in the future, because we literally just went over that strategy. So there's a lot of different changes that I need to make to it. But velocity for that 1 hour, that hourly strategy, we're probably not going to do anymore because there was a problem with a lot of people. They were taking their accounts were too small, and they were complaining that they were blowing their accounts, but they should have never been trading US 30 to begin with. So I don't want to encourage people to trade US 30 when they don't have enough money. And the problem is, people don't listen. Like, you could tell them that they don't have enough money, but they're still going to trade it. So we're probably going to discontinue that hourly strategy. You guys can still use it if you want, but I don't think it's something that you should probably really focus on because the risk on that strategy is just way too high. But yeah, guys, so we didn't really trade much this week because the elections, and the elections are still not over. So I don't know when we're going to get the results, but it looks like we're probably we're going to have to trade through it because, I mean, I'm not going to go, 2 weeks without trading because this is my main, it's how I make all my money from trading. So literally I'm probably just going to keep trading, or more specifically, I'm probably going to trade US 30. Let's see the news for next week. Yeah, actually next week's a pretty open week. So I think it'd be a good time for us to just trade. I mean, once they release the results for the presidency, then that's cool. But I can't go more than a week playing too safe because it looks like we missed out on a couple good moves. So let's go through the chart. If you guys have any other questions or anything specific you want me to look at, just put it in the chat. There's not really going to be much for us to look at tonight because it is Thursday and market's about to close. Plus the elections are still active. So it's still a risky time to be taking any new trades. But what a lot of people have been asking is that I go over all the entries from this week basically to see if we missed anything or if there's any losses that we avoided by not trading during the election. So basically we'll start off with OddCAD. We'll go down the watch list, but if you guys want me to look over anything specific, just let me know, and then I can analyze it for you. So yeah, just going over OddCAD right now. It looks like, when did this week start? This week started on the 1st. So looking at OddCAD right here, the 1st was on this day. So right here, we had a buy signal. So if we had this buy signal right here, we probably could have taken this to the next zone. And I guess that would have been a win right there. Also, price broke the zone right here. So we could have taken this entry over here using the K2SR zone strategy. And this probably would have won, or it would have hit TP2 right here. And then we probably would have gone stop down profit if we were to take this trade. But it looks like it's technically still active and it's going to continue up, which is kind of weird because the Aussie is still in a depression. So I'm not really understanding why is it pushing up so heavy. I don't know if it's due to the elections, but all of the AUD pairs have just been pushing up, even AUD USD. So I don't know what happened with the AUD. I don't know if anyone else knows what happened with it, but it looks like they're all like super bullish. Let's see. Velocity said, do you make zones on the 4-hour time frame or the 4-hour and trade on the lower time frame? Or do you enter on the 4-hour because for FTMO you can't hold over the weekend? And lastly, general question for backtesting. Do you use Excel for that? I normally trade futures and I want to backtest. I just want to know an example of how to use it. So Velocity 4. So to your first question, I usually draw all my zones on the 4 hour just so I have, a strong zone to look at. But I do go on the shorter time frames if I'm trading something on the shorter time frame. More specifically, I trade on the 4 hour, the same time frame that I draw my zones, because I trade the SR strategy, and I just don't want to be on the chart all day when I'm trading Forex. When I'm trading US 30, I don't even draw the zones on there at all because we trade that directly off momentum. But it was a question that someone else asked me today too, whether they can draw the zones on the 4 hour, but trade on like the 30-minute, which is completely fine. Because you can see here, if you look at the 30-minute, it still respects these 4 hour zones, pretty effectively, because these zones were drawn on the 4 hour, but even if you're trading on the 30-minute, it still respects it pretty nicely. So it just would really depend on which strategy you're applying. But if you're applying the zone strategy, then I recommend just doing it on the 4 hour. But if you're doing like the intraday strategy, you can also use the 30-minute as well. So it's just really up to you how you want to apply it. I think the 4 hour zones are probably the most accurate. So I would draw your zones on the 4 hour, and then you can still trade on the shorter time frames if that's what you want to do. And they work perfectly fine. Let's see. And for your next question, and for FTMO, I only trade US 30. I don't trade Forex on my FTMO. I trade this on my personal account. So the whole weekend thing doesn't really affect me, because for my US 30 trades, I usually just trade those during the New York session. So I think it's completely fine if you want to do that. But for me personally, I don't trade anything else aside US 30 on my FTMO. So when I do take my Forex trades on my personal account, I do hold them over the weekend. But obviously for FTMO, you can't hold them over the weekend. So that's why I strictly trade US 30 on my FTMO. And then for your back testing question, I used to use Excel before, but what I use now is, let me see if I can pull it up here. Yeah, so what I use now is I use Google Sheets, like this right here. This is an example of my back test for a US 30. So I just do everything on Google Sheets. The reason for that is that you can share it on the cloud. So if I wanted to share this with you, I can click share, and then I can just give it to you so you can look at it. And this helps with collaboration with like other people. So if you want to work with other people in K2, if you want to work with me directly, I can help you with your back test, or they can help you with your back test. And if you do it on Google Sheets, you can share this with them easily, and they can go and make their edits on it, and you can see what edits they make and stuff like that. I'm sure you can do it with Excel as well, but not everyone has Excel. So that's why I prefer to use Google Sheets over Excel. But obviously, if you're doing more complicated stuff with like calculations and stuff like that, then Excel would obviously be better. But if you're just doing basic documenting and data testing, you can just use Google Sheets, because I don't really use anything very specific. The only real tool that I use is like the total tool, the sum tool, because I want to see how many pips I can get at the end of the month, or if I, how many wins I get. And this is the 1 hour strategy. So I back tested it for October. It's like a 70% win rate. For September, it wasn't as great. It was a 55% win rate, and even worse for August. That's why I don't really use it as much, because there still has to be changes to it. More specifically, the changes have to be done with the stop loss. Because I think if the stop loss was a little tighter, we could probably use it more effectively. But for the other months, like October, it's still a 13,000 pip win at the end of the month. And same with September, it's like a 10,000 pip win at the end of the month. August was negative, but I'd have to go farther back. Like I'd have to go from January till October to, get a better sample, because these samples aren't that good. There was a lot of stuff going on during these months, and it was summer, obviously, during August. So volatility was low. So that probably affected, the win rate for this specific strategy. And this is another reason why I'm not releasing it just yet. I have to do a lot more testing before I can figure out if it's reliable or not. Let's see. Sierra said, seems like everything has been pushing up. Yeah, I know. It's weird, because I wouldn't expect any of the AUD pairs to really push up like that. I'm sure it has something to do with the elections, or I don't know if there was news this week. Let's see. Actually, there was a ton of Aussie news this week. So there was news on Monday. There was NZD news on Tuesday. And then there's some news today as well. So that might have affected the Aussie, but I don't think it was enough to really push price from. So this was the first when the week started. So the Aussies literally pushed up more than 210 pips for odd CAD. And odd CAD is not really a pair that really moves that fast unless there's something going on. You know, like when they announced the recession in September right here, that's when you saw this huge drop. But this was a weird recovery right here. So this is something that I wanted to avoid. This is why I didn't really trade during the elections. Let's see. Velocity said, I've done some research. Realistically, your strategies are just price action momentum. Just helps people see it instead of naked charts. Yeah, pretty much, Velocity. So the thing is, all of these indicators, I can see without the indicators because I created the indicators. So obviously, in order for me to create these indicators, I would have to produce the logic. You know, I have to tell the coder what I'm looking at so that we can create these signals here, right? So basically, what K2 does is it gives you the visualization, so you don't have to go. Well, I mean, technically, you'd still have to do the work, but if you want to have a head start in like seeing what I'm seeing in my head, that's what the indicators do. Because obviously, these indicators have to be made by someone with the knowledge to identify these, you know, these signals on the chart. So all of these signals are created with what I see in my head. So that's basically what it is. Like K2 is basically training wheels for you guys to learn how to trade exactly how I am. Because I can't teach you guys how to see what I see, obviously, right? Because it's going to be super subjective. What I see with my eyes isn't going to be exactly what you can see with your eyes. But if I can show you on the chart what I see, then there's going to be no guesswork because it literally shows you exactly what I'm looking at. But yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's what makes it proprietary. It's like a mixture between price action and momentum. It's more so momentum versus price action because these zones aren't really, I mean, they're used when we're making entries, but we're not trying to catch these rejections. Like if you're trading price action, you're going to, you know, identify this as a rejection and take it the opposite direction, right? Because you're like counter trend trading. For momentum, we're basically trying to catch momentum going down in that direction and breaking structure. So once it breaks a structure, we follow that ride with it, you know, versus like strictly price action where you're trying to catch these little rejection points. The price comes down, you know, a normal price action trader would have identified this as a double bottom, right? So if you identify this as a double bottom, a price action trader would have taken a buy here and probably would have gone stopped out. However, for me, I trade with momentum. So instead of me trading in that direction, we actually trade with price. So that's like the difference between the way I trade and the way Honest trade. So if you guys are familiar with Honest before, he traded like strict price action. And the problem with that is that sometimes we'd be opposite. Like I said right here, this would be a double bottom, right? If you're trading price action. So a normal price action trader would identify this as a double bottom. So for price action, they would call a buy. But for me, I would call a sell as price comes down here. So that's why we had to split up, you know, because price action and momentum are totally different. But for me, I kind of have like a little mix to it. Like I do use some price action principles, but not entirely. They're mostly momentum versus price action. But yeah, you know, back to what you said on the second message as well, with helping people see instead of having naked charts. Because obviously, if you're looking at this chart like this, you know, most people aren't going to know what to look at. But if you have the K2 indicators, it gives you some clarity as to what to look at. So obviously, if you have momentum coming down, you're only looking for sells. You have momentum coming up, you're looking for buys. But yeah, if you're a more experienced trader, then you could probably see what I see without the indicators, but majority of people aren't at that level. So the indicators are pretty much used as training wheels because if you look at the charts well enough, like if you keep looking at the same patterns over and over again, you're going to be able to spot them without any type of help. Like you can just have this off right here and you're like, okay, this is the downtrend. This is an uptrend, downtrend, uptrend, downtrend. But most people can't see that. So, and it makes it more efficient because the thing is, if we're looking at, let's see, like 28 pairs here, it's not going to be easy for someone to go through every single pair and identify things without having to really analyze it. If you have the K2 indicators, they pretty much put everything on the chart for you. So I could literally like not look at the chart for like a whole week. Oops. Oh, I did. Yeah, I could look at a chart for like a whole week, and then I just look at it, you know, within a few seconds, I already know the direction of momentum because we have a buy signal right here. But yeah, that's pretty much how they're used. So yeah, for OddCAD right here, we already went over that. So let's go down to odd CHF. So the week started on the 1st, which was right here. Same situation using the K2SR strategy. Price broke the structure right here. We had a buy signal. We could have taken this buy right here, but we didn't because of the elections. And that would have hit full TP up there. Same situation right here. Price broke the structure. Could have taken a buy right here. Stop loss would be at the swing down here. And this move would technically still be active if you guys took this trade right here. So it looks like there were wins on both sides for OddCAD and OddCHF. We'll go on to the next one, OddJPY. The first was right here. So price broke this structure right here. We had a buy signal. We could have taken this long position over here, and that would have hit full TP. Same thing right here. This candle broke this structure right here. We had a buy signal right here. Take another long position right there, and then would hit full TP again. So it looks like there was actually a lot of trade opportunities that were available, but you know, obviously we're playing it safe, so that's why we didn't take any of these trades. I kind of regret not taking them because they would have been some nice trades. However, you know, if you guys are familiar with how I trade, I'm pretty careful with my trades. I only take trades if I know they're going to win, because once you trade long enough, it's more so about conserving your capital versus hitting those home run trades. Because there's a ton of people that hit those home run trades, and most of the time they don't hit those home runs, and they end up blowing their account before they can even reach their full potential. So again, right here, this was the third, and then this was the first. So this is when the week started. Right here, price broke this structure. We had a buy signal right here, so we would have taken a buy. It would have hit full TP. Again, right here, price broke the structure, buy signal. If we took that long position right there, it technically would still be active, but it has to break through these two K2SR zones before hitting that full TP. So this technically would still be active if you guys decided to take it. Velocity said, where can you find correlated pairs at? So here, I'll send you the link in the chat, Velocity. I have a special link here. Most of the time, I just correlate them by the specific pair because it's just too much work to actually go through each and every correlation, because they're not always going to correlate the same all the time. So I usually, if I really need to know the correlation, I'll go on this website on my FX book, and then it has the correlation filter here. So literally you can match, you know, OddCAD with OddJPY, OddNZD. Obviously all of the AUD pairs, they're going to have a correlation. You can see right here, GU is like complete opposite. EJ and EU have like 50% correlation. But I'll send you this link in the YouTube. If you really want to know like the exact correlation, me personally, I just correlate them by the specific pair. So if the pair has that specific currency, so if I'm looking at all, like if you look at my watch list here, all of the AUD pairs are lined up together, right? CAD pairs lined up together, CHF pairs, Euro pairs, the pound pairs, NZD, USD, they're all pretty much lined up. So if they all correlate in the same direction, or I mean, if they're all moving in the same direction, then that's going to give you a correlation where, you know, if OddCAD is going up, you're like, all right, cool. And I see an entry for like OddJPY. I'm like, all right, they're both bullish, so I'm going to enter a buy position there. That's one way of doing it. But if you want to look at the very specific pairs that are correlated, you can look here too. I just find it to be like way too much work for me to actually go and look this up. But yeah, if you want to be very precise, then this would be your resource for that specifically. Okay, so let me go back to the watch list. Hey, Velocity, did you get that link? I just want to make sure that you got it. I'm not sure if you can click on it or not. I've never really posted a link on here before. Let's see. All right, I'll come back to check on you in a little bit to see if you got that link. Otherwise, you can probably just Google MyFXbook correlation, and then I think it comes up there as well. Or I mean, the link is super easy. It's like MyFXbook. Well, it's kind of long, but it's easy if you need to Google it. Let's see. Velocity said, "Thank you." And also, why is the 4-hour time frame so dominant in the Forex market instead of, let's say, the 1 hour per or daily? One thing I've seen universal is 99% of Forex traders use the 4-hour. You know, I ask myself that same question all the time. The main reason I think it works well is because it's a good mix between intraday and swing trading. Because if you go on the daily, or if you go on the 1 hour, you still see a lot of noise on the 1 hour, right? So you're looking at the 1 hour here. Let's take everything off the chart so it looks a little neater. So if you look at the 1 hour here, it still looks like there's like a ton of noise going on the chart, right? Because you see things go back and forth. But if you go on the 4 hour, it's just a lot smoother. So you can see like the movements are a lot smoother versus on the 1 hour where it's like super choppy. And you can see the choppiness just by looking at the wicks, because that just indicates a lot of uncertainty. Because on the 1 hour, you have such a big room between each session. So like, for example, right here is like 5 o'clock until, so 5 o'clock until, what is the day ends at like 15 right here. So like you can see during the US session right here, there's about 10 bars, which, you know, obviously equates to 10 hours. And then you just see it basically move back and forth. If you're trading on the 4 hour, each candle pretty much covers, or each 2 candles cover a session, like from right here, from like 6 to 10. And then it just pretty much overlaps into the next session. So instead of just trading within a specific, I guess like a specific time zone, like if you're only trying to trade like the New York session or the London session or the Asia session, then yeah, obviously you can go on the 1 hour, but you can see that on the 1 hour, there's just a lot more noise. And then the thing is, this would be more specific, like you'd be more focused on just trading within that specific session. Like from right here is like midnight. So like midnight until 6 a.m. This would be like the London session, right? Right there. And it was about 43 pips. So if you're doing that, you know, the 1 hour would be more focused on specific session trading. But if you're trading intraday, like throughout the entire 4 hours, it would make more sense for you to trade on the 4 hour, because you can see how smoother it moves from, like, let's say midnight. Well, let's do like from midnight to midnight. So like from here until midnight the next day, which would be like somewhere right there. So you can see how smooth that moves for an entire day versus, you know, the 1 hour if you're trying to just trade during a specific session. But it also depends on your strategy. So if you're scalping, obviously you have to trade on the shorter time frames and you're going to trade per session. But if you're going to, like, you can see right here that price comes down during one session and then it comes right back up during another session. So that's what I mean about trading a specific session versus trading the entire day for intraday. But it just really depends on you, on how you want to trade. So obviously, you know, majority of people trade on the 4 hour because they want to trade intraday, but they also want to kind of delve into swing trading because they don't have to look at it as often. But yeah, I mean, it's just really going to depend on your trading style. But me personally, I find the 4 hour to be a lot more accurate. So if you look at the trend on the 1 hour, you can see how messy it is, right? It goes back and forth. But if you look on the 4 hour, it's like a lot smoother. Like you'll see a lot smoother moves from swings up to swings down versus looking on the shorter time frames, like the 1 hour. So like it's still pretty smooth, but most of the time it's like crossing over. Like right here, you can see it's super choppy, and then it breaks out into a trend, and then it gets super choppy for a bit, and then breaks out into a trend. So I wouldn't say any specific time frame is dominant over another. It just depends on the strategy that you're applying and, you know, how long you anticipate to hold that specific trade. All right, so I gone over those questions there. I think we left off on odd JPY. But yeah, guys, I see there's a lot of new people that showed up. So if you guys have any questions, just put it in the chat. Like I mentioned earlier, we're not really going to be looking for any new trades right now because it's Thursday, the market's about to close, plus the election is still going on. So it would just be too risky for us to enter anything brand new because it would probably cut into the weekend. But if I see anything that's really good, then I'll call it. Otherwise, we might just be calling it a week for our Forex trades. Also, I'll be looking for US 30 trades, but Forex is just, look at this drop right here, guys. We were just looking at AUD NZD earlier. Like literally we took our eyes off it for like 10 minutes and it drops how many pips? Like 40 pips. So this is what I mean about the market just being crazy due to the election. Sorry, I got a text message, guys. I was looking at my text. But yeah, like there's these crazy movements during the elections. That's why I'm not really trading during the elections because, last thing I want to do is take a trade and then it ends up reversing on me, and that would just be all due to greed because we could have just set out the market, but if we decided to trade, it'd just be a little too risky. So looking at so we left off on AUD-JPY. I don't know if I analyzed it yet, but yeah, basically right here, the market opened on the 1st. You can see price break structure here. We had a buy signal, so we could have entered a long position right here for a win for 68 pips. Again, right here, price breaks the structure. And then another win right there. And then price broke the structure again right here. So this would technically be an active. What's up with my computer? It's just running really slow right now. So price broke the structure again right here. That's be another entry, and technically it'd still be active right now if you guys were taking these entries. AUD NZD. I don't know if I got too much stuff open. Looks like my for whatever reason the my trading view keeps getting errors. I don't know if there's something wrong with trading view this week because I know earlier in the week a lot of people were saying that it was really slow. It's been pretty slow for me too. Hopefully this goes away. If it doesn't go away, you might have to get offline because it's just going to keep popping up. But okay, so we went over AUD JPY, AUD NZD right here. Basically, this was the first. Basically, so just looking at all the odd pairs, it looks like if anyone took any bullish positions for the AUD, you would have hit some nice profits. So there's no point in us reiterating what we went over for AUD CAD, AUD CHF, AUD JPY because they all had some nice bullish moves. I'm not sure where the bullish moves came from because the Aussie is in recession, so you'd expect it to continue downwards. But I don't know if they released something this week due to the news. So there was Aussie news on Monday, there was Aussie news on Tuesday, or New Zealand news, and then there was also some Aussie news tonight. Actually, just passed. So it's 4:47. The news was at 4:30. So I'm not sure what they said during the policy statement. This is basically their equivalent to our FOMC. I'm assuming it was good because they keep pushing up even further, or actually not, they're dropping now. So I'd be careful with, wow, they all dropped. Yeah, I wonder what happened. Something happened with the news. So let's drop like 30 pips. Let's drop like 30 pips. Yeah, it looks like something in the news affected the Aussie pairs because they all dropped pretty heavy. But yeah, let's keep going to CAD CHF. There isn't really much entry here. Let's see, Velocity said, take a look at gold later if you can. Just broke a 4-hour downtrend channel, and the other day it's been shooting up. Yeah, so we'll take a look at gold now because we're kind of just winging it tonight, honestly. Yeah, so if you guys have any other specific questions, just let me know. And we can look over anything pretty much because I'm not looking for any new trades tonight just because of how the market's been moving. So I don't really, you know what, maybe if I just reopen this. actually looks fine now. Okay, so I'm looking at, I don't know why it does that. It goes away and then it comes back. Whatever, we'll just ignore it. But anyway, so let me just go back over here. I'm going to delete all of these zones. You did mention that it broke, let's see. It broke a 4-hour down channel and the other day has been shooting up. So I think this huge shoot up right here was due to the elections. So I think what happened was, just my hunch is that it just lost its, the bulls lost power once we got up to here. So it looks like it might be coming down, because the thing with gold is that it can only push up so much, or it can only push down so much before it ends up, losing its momentum. But let's go and check the structures. Turn on the SR indicator. Let's see this. All right. So we got these, so these are the two structures right here. It might push up a little further because it hasn't reached that that upper structure yet. Damn, man, what's going on with these errors? Let me just, I'm sorry guys, I'm gonna reopen this because it keeps doing that. Let me close this real quick. So this might fix it. Trading view. Chart. All right, so I think this might have fixed it, hopefully. Reopen this real quick. All right, so looking at gold right now, Velocity mentioned that it broke a 4-hour down, let's see, 4-hour downtrend channel the other day, and it's been shooting up. Yeah, so it looks like, looking at the 4-hour here, obviously there was a downtrend from, I'm not sure if this is the one that you were mentioning, but it looks like it was right here. Yeah, so it looks like it was in a downtrend right there on the 4-hour, and then it broke it on the second, which was a couple of days ago. So I'm assuming this is what you were talking about. So it broke the channel right here, and then it just shot straight up. So I think what happened here, because this happened on the second, right? This was when, was this election day? It might have been. So this was either election day or pre-election day, but on the, it looks like it broke it right here, and then it came back down. Actually, the third was the election day. So election day was right here. It came down, and then it, rejected off the channel, and then it shot right back up. But I think this bullish momentum right here more so came from the election, basically, because we don't know who's the president. So obviously people are going to put their money into safe haven currencies like gold, JPY. That reminds me. So let me check JPY real quick, because I swear the JPY is going up. Oh no, it's going down. Okay, so it's going down. So yeah, like I was just discussing with gold right now, the reason it goes up like this is because gold is a safe haven currency, just like the JPY and just like the CHF. So basically what happened here was price was coming down, due to the elections, because they thought, Trump was going to win. Everyone's like, okay, Trump's going to win. And then as soon as there was uncertainty on the 4th right here, you see this skyrocket right up, right? Like it just shoots up like crazy because nobody knows what's going on with the US. So because of that, all the momentum went into these safe haven currencies like gold, and that's why it shot back up. But like I mentioned before, I don't think this rejection was due to any technicals. This rejection was just due because the momentum started to die down, because obviously, it could push up, but it can only push up so far. And the thing is, there's no zone that's right here causing that rejection. It just looks like it just lost power. So let's check different time frames. Maybe we could find an actual rejection point there. No rejection point on the 8-hour. Technically no rejection point on the daily either, because the zone is like still up here. The zone lines up with the 4-hour right here. You can see this line. So it just looks like it's losing its steam. I think what could happen now is it could keep pushing up possibly, but it can also, yeah, it can probably keep, so right here, it pushed up, retraced down a little bit. there's like two different scenarios that can happen here. Like what can happen here is it can either retrace all the way down to the zone and then break through it and correct this movement. Because what could happen here is, like I mentioned, this move was due to basically I wouldn't say market manipulation, but pretty much people are trying to put their money in a safe place. So they put it in gold, but the actual range for gold right now is way down here below this zone. So a couple of things can happen here. Price can either correct back downwards and then go back into this zone before going back sideways, or it can come down. So this is scenario one. Scenario one, it goes back to where it was before the election. So the elections happened right here, and then it shot up due to the elections, right? What can happen here is like scenario number one is price can come back down, correct back to where price was originally before all this happened, and then just go back along its way. That's one scenario. Scenario number two is price can come down to the zone, and then what happens here is people are trying to buy the dip, right? Because people see price go up and then they're anticipating this dip right here. So they see this dip come down, and then there's a bunch of buy limits right here. So once price comes down, if a bunch of buys fill the market right here, it can shoot right back up. So that's scenario number two. Scenario number three is this could just be a small pullback. Like price shot up, they tried, like people sold off on their positions on gold right here. And then after that, it can shoot right back up from right here instead of coming back to test this zone right here. So there's a ton of different scenarios that can play out for gold. And for me, I don't like that many options. If there's like two options, then it's cool with me. I'll take the trade. But when there's like 3-4 options on the table, price can literally do anything. And like for me, I like to take trades that I know for sure are going to hit. So I would think it'd be a little too risky to take this trade. But I'm not sure how you are analyzing it, Velocity. If you're seeing it the same way as I am, or if you have something completely different. Because if you have something completely different, I can see what you're looking at, and then maybe we could figure out middle ground. But there's a ton of scenarios that can play out for gold right now, and it's something that I personally wouldn't really trade. Personally, let's see. Angel said, "Never seen your face before." Oh yeah, nice. I went on the camera, I think a couple of weeks ago, and I forgot that I didn't have the thing covered today, so it's all good. I'll probably go on this more often because I lost my little cover thing for it. I wasn't trying to get watched by the NSA. Dion's here too. Dion said, "Damn, Shawn, let me take you on a date. Let's go." Lassie said, "No, I didn't trade it. I've been seeing a lot of people talking about it, so I took a look." Yeah, I mean, I would have been like, if I was looking at it, I would have talked about it too if this happened. But yeah, like I mentioned, this move right here was basically based off the election. So I personally, I don't like to trade assets that are being manipulated, because the thing is, like how I mentioned the scenarios, the thing is a lot of other people are thinking the same thing. So if you were to take a short here and the market makers see that a lot of people are taking shorts, they'll just spike price right back up, stop you out. So one thing to take into account when you're looking at stuff like this is the IG sentiment. Let me see. The IG sentiment. Yeah, so basically you don't want to trade where everyone else is trading, right? So you look at the sentiment, you see where everyone's trading. What's wrong one? This one? That's weird. That's weird that they don't have, or did I type it in wrong? No, that's right. XAU, USD. I guess it's gold spot now. So yeah, looking at the IG sentiment, 75% of people are long right now. So that's why I'd be careful if you were to trade this, because like I mentioned here, so the first scenario was that price can come down and break right through it. This is probably not what a lot of people are looking at because there's 75% people long. So the problem is there's a lot of FOMO traders here, right? So like say right here, price was coming up and everyone's talking about gold. Everyone's like, oh, buy gold, right? So people buy gold right here. And then they put their stop loss at the swing right here, right? Or I guess like below the structure. So since there's so many people long right now, 75% of people are long, this thing right here. So if all the retail traders are long, the big banks and institutions, what they do is they see people that are hopping in because people are getting FOMO. They're like, oh crap, everyone's saying to buy gold, so I got to buy gold, right? So they push price up a little bit right here to basically lure people in. So right here, people see gold keep pushing up, but then the big banks and institutions are looking at the sentiment. They're like, oh, so many people are long right here, so let's just take all their money, right? So what happens here is I could see this coming down. You can see this huge drop right here. This is probably how many pips? I think this is like 76 pips, almost 80 pips. So what I see happening here is I see the big banks pushing price down and spiking everybody out for a stop loss hunt right here. And then it's shooting right back up. So that's why I wouldn't enter this trade right now. It's going to be manipulated, one way or another. And like, check this out. If you guys already saw me mark this up, this is probably exactly what's going to happen. Either this will happen, where if this happens, this is manipulation, 100%. But if it breaks down below and continues further, then it's just correcting back down to where price originally was. But my guess is that this is going to happen right here. Because the thing is, people are just going to keep buying because they are just going to keep getting FOMO because everyone's telling people to buy gold when you should not be doing what everyone else is doing. Let's see, Velocity said, I heard of IG sentiment. It shows how big banks take price opposite of traders. Yeah, exactly. So, exactly what I just mentioned. If there's so many people long, you don't want to be where everybody's at. You want to be where people aren't, or where it's like it's even, like where it's like at 60%, because price can go either way. But if there's so many people in one direction, then it makes it risky because this looks like a stop loss hunt right here. And this is probably what I see happening. This is actually a huge stop loss. It's like 186 pips. So the stop loss, they might hunt to down here or maybe down here. Or if they're feeling really bold, they might drop it even down here. Well, we'll see. I'm kind of interested to see how this plays out because, I don't want to see people lose, but I want to see if this theory actually plays out. So we'll keep following it. We'll see how it plays out later. But yeah, we'll give it some time. All right, I'm gonna sit down, guys. I've been standing for too long. Let's see. Push this down. All right, my desk is coming down right now. Get my chair. All right. So let's see if there is anything else to look at. But yeah, guys, so it looks like there's some new people that joined the chat. Just like I mentioned earlier, I'm not really going to take any trades today because of elections and it's Thursday, so the market's going to be closing soon tomorrow. So I'll just be analyzing the chart to see if there's anything worth taking or look at any of the previous trades that happened this week since we didn't really trade this week due to the elections. But if you guys have any specific questions, feel free to put them in the chat and then we can look over pretty much any pair. But it doesn't really look like much is going to be happening tonight because the market volatility has died down. Also, the hype with elections kind of died down too, since Nevada is probably not going to finish their counting until next week. Velocity said, so what does someone need to join your team? What type of track record? Track record is not really that big of a deal. The real thing is being able to apply the K² strategies properly. The problem with a lot of traders is that they learn how to trade from, another company, another group, another mentor. And the thing is they don't learn, I wouldn't say that they didn't learn the proper way, but they didn't learn fully. Like they only know one way to trade. Like they know how to trade price action one way. And the thing is price action isn't always going to work because everyone trades price action. And, obviously if you're trading price action, the big banks and stuff are going to be doing the opposite of you because they do the opposite of what the majority of people do. So like how you mentioned before, Velocity, for me, The K2 strategies are kind of a mixture between price action and momentum, but I'm more geared towards momentum because, like I mentioned, I don't want to trade like how everyone else is trading because majority of people fail at trading. But yeah, I mean, you know, the biggest thing is being able to apply the K2 strategies properly. If you can apply the K2 strategies, you know, by the book, then you're good enough to join the team. But it's really hard to come by because a lot of people are so focused on the way that they learned previously that they can't forget how to trade that way. And then they start mixing that with K2 and then they end up losing and want to blame K2. But it's like, you know, show me what you guys did and then I'll show you exactly what you went wrong. But yeah, that's basically the main requirement to really be part of K2, you know, more specifically. Let's see. Dion said we drop in a 20 lot sell when Biden wins. Oh man, on which pair, Dion? Are you talking about gold? Or are you talking about Swiss the CJ right here? Yeah, if Biden wins, then I'm probably gonna drop. Let me see. I'm gonna go to like go to like gold. Put like a fat buy right here. And then let that thing ride up. Well, this is crazy. I'm like so intrigued by gold now because since you mentioned it, velocity. I think it's really going to drop down there. It does look like they're doing a stop loss hunt right now because there's so many people that are buying, and they're doing the complete opposite. Dirty 30. Hey, bro, I think that could really happen. Honestly, let me see. Looking at US 30 right now. I mean, if you look at it right now, it looks like it's actually losing steam, right? Because it looks like it's created a structure up here. So let's see. It looks like it created a structure right up here. And it looks like it could be coming down Humpty Dumpty right here, bro. Check this out. I'm trying to figure out an area. Let me see where these areas are. Yeah, so I never thought I'd see the day where you'd be interested in gold, Shawn. Now we got to get you into oil. Man, I used to trade gold before, but I lost a lot of money one time and I was like, man, this asset is just too risky. So that's why I stopped trading it. But I mean, it is a good asset to trade if like, you know what you actually, no, it's a super manipulated asset. That's why I don't like trading it. Same with oil, bro. I feel like you like to trade those super risky assets that kind of like bounce all over the place. I mean, there's high profit potential, but it's also super risky. But who knows, man? I might have to hop in on that soon. All right, check it out. If price breaks this right here, then I'm gonna take this for a sell. Let me put a little set an alert on this thing. It's gonna put sell US 30 now. So let's see. Yeah, price is actually coming down, so we'll see. Put an alert on that right there. Find something down here. And this is where my TP is going to be. Yeah, you know what? It looks like that structure right there was so the last time that specific structure was tested, and it's kind of crazy right here. It actually tested the same exact price, was on the 23rd of October, and then again on the 20th. So it looks like it's been trying to test that structure for like a pretty long time, but it hasn't really had much luck. Yeah, actually, this might be a good one right here. But I don't know. See, that's risky because the thing is, even if we took a sell right here, like say Trump wins. If Trump wins, they're going to shoot price up. If Biden wins, probably going to shoot price down. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of risky, but yeah, Dion. I mean, if Biden does win, yeah, we could short it all day. Let's catch those dips basically when it swings back up. Just catch that next sell. But I'll be looking at this right here because I do have my alert set up. I might take this trade if it breaks below it. We'll have to see. It's on the 15-minute too. Oh yeah, no, definitely. So this is on the 15-minute, but let me go on the 10-minute. Let me see if there's a. I mean, this sell would have been good too. But yeah, this sell on the 15-minute, this would have been nice. About 1,000 pips right there. Let's see. Short position. Oh, but you see, this happened during the swap. So it'd have been too risky for my liking. Yeah, all right, so 150 right here. Actually, this was like 130. Yeah, so it looks like if we did take that sell right there, it would have hit full TP because we had this previous swing at 130. So this would have hit full TP, Gian, if you know, if we would have taken that, if we put our stop loss at the swing. Andrew said send us a signal. Yeah, I might send you guys a signal as an unofficial signal just so you guys can take it. If it does close below. So we'll be waiting for that if that happens. Because it looks like it's coming down. Like it's tested it. It's like a triple top right here, right? One, it tested it once here, or even a quadruple top. It tested it once, twice, 3, 4, maybe even 5, 6 times right here. And looking at that structure in the past, see if I back up right here, it's actually tested that area a lot of times. So it's actually a pretty strong structure. But I'll try to send this. I'll try to send this out to you guys as an unofficial call if it ends up, you know, closing. But we'll see. Velocity said, when you used to scalp gold, correct, with the pivot strategy and made like, that was US 30 Velocity. So that was, where did I post that at? Yeah, it was US 30. It was like last month because I was just scalping it literally. We got all this stuff here. Oh, we got too much stuff posted here, but yeah, Velocity, for that scalping whenever I scalp US 30. I don't really scalp gold, but gold's a good asset to scalp as well. I just find US 30 a lot easier to follow. But you could scalp gold. You know, I think Dion scalps gold. Or there used to be a lot of people that used to scalp gold in the chat before, but I think once everyone blew their account trading gold, they just stopped. Because it's the same thing. Well, I didn't blow my account, but I lost a lot of money trading gold back then. It was just too manipulated. So that's why I stopped trading it. Oh, check this out, guys. I just pulled up gold again. It's exactly what I was saying. This is stop loss hunt. Hey, Dion, hop on these sells right here. Well, watch. As soon as you hop in on a sell, it's going to shoot right back up. I hate when they do that. But yeah, it is. Look, it's coming down pretty heavy. How many pips is that right now? Jeez. So it's over 100 pips already, 108 pips. Looks like it's going to drop to, dang, nearly 200 pips. Tempted to take this sell. Let's see, John said if Biden wins, there's a good chance of a big stimulus, which is good for the market, also good for gold. Yeah, I agree. I mean, regardless as to whoever wins, I think there's going to be a big stimulus either way, because the thing is people need the stimulus. And if people don't get the stimulus, you know, we're probably going to see some riots and stuff going on. So I'm sure to avoid that, they're going to give some stimulus regardless as to who wins. But yeah, definitely Biden, you know, he's going to want to give people more. So he's probably going to give a bigger stimulus. But we'll see. I mean, I'm curious to see who wins. That's probably the main thing. I was hoping Nevada would count the alts by now, but doesn't look like it's going to happen until I think sometime next week. Let's see. Yeah, so that's gold. I'm really curious to see if this drops all the way down to here. If this drops all the way down to here, then you already know what happened. It was something crazy. Okay, let's see. US 30 is coming down right now, so I'm still watching it. I'm gonna get my phone ready for my MC4. You know, those are some crazy scalps this morning, guys. I was low-key scared when I took those the US 30 trades, because I wasn't even really waiting for the entry. So let me show you guys what I did this morning when I took those scalps. So basically what I did was I used the pivot strategy. So velocity, back to what I was saying earlier with my scalping, I used the pivot strategy on US 30. So basically this morning, what I did was I took this trade right here. So this is a, you know, classic pivot entry right here. I mean, if you took all the pivot entries from the 4th up until now, you would have made a ton of profit. Because like, check this out. This is a pivot entry right here. That's like 1,880 pips. So that's a straight TP right there. Again, right here, another pivot entry for like another 1,500 pips right there. And then the pivot entry I took today was right here. And basically what I did was when price moved up, so this was like the full move. But what I did was when price moved up to 50% profit, like I normally do for the signals, I moved my stop loss and profit. So price shot up right here. I kind of didn't look at it for a little bit. And then I ended up moving my stop loss to that 50% mark. And then as it came up right here for this third try and it came back down, it stopped me out in profit for like about $1,000. How much did I make today? And I took it on two of my accounts, thankfully. So on my first FTMO account, I got 1,480, $1,480. And then on my other FTMO account, I made 1,400. So if you guys aren't aware, I have two funded FTMO accounts that are 100K. That's why I had two positions here, because I took them on both accounts. That's why the profit's different. So the profit on this is a flat 1,400. The profit on here is 1,480 because they're separate accounts. Velocity said, how long did it take you to make this a full-on business in LLC? So I started last year, but I wasn't really active until this year because I was working as an attorney before. So I was working as a lawyer for like a while, for like a couple of years. And then in March, they were doing what's called like voluntary layoffs. So I was like, well, fuck it, fire me. So I was like, I took the layoff and then I started running K² like as a full business. So like starting a business is easy, but actually running it, that's where it actually takes a lot of your time. So K² has been around for like maybe a year now, a little over a year, because we launched on July of 2019. So from July 2019 to March 2020, it was kind of just, kind of did this for fun, basically. It was a business, but I was like giving, like, I think Dion, you've been here for a while, right? You've been here when I was giving out signals for free out of like my law office, dude. I was literally just giving signals out. While I was there, I wasn't as consistent because I had a full-time job. But then in March when I took the layoff, then that's when I started doing this for full-time. Dion said, teach me the write-offs. Got you, bro. I'm big on that stuff. Business and taxes, main things that you got to learn in life. If you learn business, if you learn one way to make money, which is this trading, and then you learn the tax game, you guys are set. It's pretty much, it's life. That's all you really need to know if you want to be successful long-term, because the thing is you make your money from trading and then you got to figure out how to save that money. So put 2 and 2 together and that's all you need to know. Yeah, velocity. I mean, I've had K² for a while. I probably went a whole year giving out free advice, free everything. And then last year it was still pretty much free for the most part. And then this year is where I really made it into an actual business. So technically K² has only been like a real thriving business since like March. but it's been around for a while, for like maybe a year or two. But yeah, guys, so let's see. It's 518 right now. Let's check gold again real quick. You know, I think I'm gonna start doing these live calls in the morning because a lot of people have been like asking for me to do this for so when I call the US 30 trades in the morning. So I might start doing this in the morning during New York session. I might just get on, hop on a call with you guys, and then just hang out until we get that US 30 entry. Because that's basically what everyone wants in the morning. You know, everyone's waiting for that US 30 entry. And then after that, they're like, all right, Shawn, do whatever you want. Dion said, you ever looked at the other stock markets to trade? So I used to trade stocks before. That's what I used to trade before I got to Forex. But then when I started working like my normal lawyer job, you know, I couldn't trade during the day anymore. So that's why I moved over to Forex. But ever since then, I haven't really looked at the stock market aside from just buying and holding stuff. I was looking to get back into options because I went from stocks to options to Forex. And then I was thinking about going back to options, but I haven't made that leap yet. Because I started some other businesses as well. So I started some other retail businesses, which is like under the K² umbrella. So I'm probably not going to be doing that. Oh, DAX. You're talking about indexes. Yeah. So yeah, if you're talking about indexes, I did look at other. That's why they're on the watch list here. I used to look at all of these. I looked at the Aussie, the what is this? The Spain index, the French index, the German index. This is the DAX, the JIR. So if you look at all of them, they kind of move the same. If you look at DAX right here and you compare it to like US 30, they line up almost identical. So you can look at these other ones, but what I do recommend is you just focus on one and then you get really good at it. So that's basically what I do with US 30. You know, I got really good at US 30, so I just focus on US 30. But I did trade. So I traded all of these when I first started trading indices. And then I realized it's better to just find one that you really like and then focus on that one specifically. So I don't look at DAX anymore. It probably would have been a good asset to trade if you can trade London session, but I like to go to sleep. So I don't trade DAX. But like, check this out. If you took this sell right here at midnight, so if you're applying, you know, the same similar strategy, midnight was like right here, take this sell, money right there. And then again, right here at midnight. Damn, bro, check this out. Midnight again, take another buy right there. Oh man, see, Dion got me going into gold. Now he's got me going into DAX. What's next? Look at all them buys. Actually, I'm on the 4 hour, so this is kind of skewed. Go back on the 1 hour right here. Yeah, you know, looking at the DAX here, if you're 50 G's, I know, bro, it's crazy. Like if you, yeah, literally, if you took all the buys right here from this week, or even let me go on the short time frame. So if we were on the 10-minute, and you literally took, because the thing with the US 30 strategy that we apply on US Open, you can apply the same thing for DAX, but on London Open. So this is what I always recommend when people always ask me if they should trade US 30 during London. I'm like, no, because it's a US asset. You should trade the DAX. So if you want to trade London, like check this out. This was midnight right here, London Open. You had a buy position right here. If you took that, straight win right there for like 1,600 pips. And then again, so that's one win right there. And then that's the fourth. And then again today, well, I mean, literally, if you took all the buys right here, like how Dion is saying, you literally could have made a ton of money. So if you turn on the pivots, these are all pivot entries right here, right? So you could apply the daily entry, plus you could take all these pivot entries right here as well. So this obviously would hit full TP eventually. Another pivot entry right here. And this is what I tell you guys, like if you guys want to apply the pivot strategy or any K2 strategy to any other asset, you guys can, because the strategy works on every single asset. Like check this out, another 1,600 pips right there. Another one right here. Jeez, yeah, I mean, you got me thinking now. But no, the thing is, I don't like I like to sleep, guys. I like to have a normal sleeping pattern, so I'm not gonna stay up during London to make. Maybe I could do it like once a week, but me personally, I'd rather take care of my health and get some actual sleep than have to stay up during London session to make these profits off these DAX moves. But yeah, see, check this out, man. It's crazy, dude. There's a lot of wins right here. So Dion decided to tell me about this all late. Could have told me about this yesterday, bro. Check this out. All these wins right here. But yeah, these are some nice entries. Just applying all these pivot entries right here. Damn, that's crazy. Yeah, bro, that's a lot of profit there. If you took these trades, they literally all hit full TP. Dang. Now I'm jealous. Now I want to trade DAX, but I also don't want to stay up past midnight. Let's see. We have velocity right here. So do you think depending how confident you are in the strategy, you can take a huge lot position? Because no matter what I look at, I've seen people with smaller accounts such as 50K and 100K yet taking 10, 20 lot positions. It depends. Like me personally, I'm super confident with my scalping ability. So if you looked at my and yeah, you said taking 10, 20 lot positions. So I think you're referring to FTML, right? Because I wouldn't see someone taking that on an FX trade unless you're talking about normal FX and not FTMO. So velocity, I just want to confirm which. So when you're talking about 10 and 20 lot positions, are you talking about US 30 on FTMO, or are you talking about just normal Forex trades? Because that makes a huge difference. Like if you're taking that on FTMO, a 10 lot is equivalent to a one standard lot. And then same with the 20 lot, that'd be equivalent to like a 20 lot. Like for my positions here, I took a 10 lot, right? But the reason for this is because they're E-minis. So this would be technically, you just move the decimal over by one, and then it'd be one standard lot, not 10 lots. But if you're talking about normal brokers, then yeah, this is a crazy position to take on a normal broker. But you can see here on my scalps, I take big positions on there too, because I'm super confident with how I take them. Let's see. Trying to figure out where my profits were for that one time. Media, let me just go to the yeah. So basically, when I scalp, and because I'm super confident with my scalping, so I'll take big positions. But I know what I'm doing with it. I'm not just like taking random. So like right here, I'm taking like 50 lots. Which would be equivalent to a 5 lot on a standard account. But I only take these because I'm super confident. It's not something that I recommend anyone else take because that can go south really quick. The thing with me is I have a lot of discipline where I can exit that trade right away whenever things start to go the opposite direction. But yeah, just going back to your question, if you're super confident, you can over leverage as much as you want because you assume the risk that oh yeah, you've seen on normal Forex trades. I don't know. Honestly, I've seen that too, but I don't think it's realistic. Honestly, if you're trading on normal Forex, like I know what you're talking about because I've seen people post trades like that. And I'm like, is this a demo account or is this legit? Because if you're taking a 20 lot on a normal Forex trade, you need a lot of capital for that. Like literally you need a lot of capital to be taking a 20 lot on a normal Forex account. And the thing is, most of the time those accounts aren't real. I mean, depending on the person, like if you're referring to someone that's like really good at trading, then yeah, they'll take that because they're risking their entire account. So say if they have like a 10K account, they're going to drop like a 5-10 lot because they're like, all right, if I lose this money, it's cool because they know the risk. But if it's someone that doesn't know what they're doing and they're just taking huge lot sizes like that, or someone that doesn't seem like they know what they're doing, then, odds are they're probably trading on like a demo account, which I mean, it's fine. as long as they're not like, you know, putting it out that it's like a legit account. But yeah, me personally, I think Forex is more of a long-term game, so I don't really over leverage with Forex. I just let the trades run. But for US 30, since it moves so fast, because I try to get in and out of these trades within, you know, a few minutes, maybe a couple hours at most, then I could over leverage on that because I could just get in and out with some profit. But for Forex, me personally, I don't take big losses like that. But yeah, I mean, yeah, you know, going back to your initial question, if you're like really confident, then yeah, of course you can go over leverage on it if you want, but I would never recommend it. You're not gonna find that advice from me where I'm telling you, oh, okay, it's cool to like over leverage, because in reality, it's not. Because the last thing I want is someone to blow their account and then blame it on me because I told them that they can over leverage. That's why if you ever talk to me about leverage or about risk, I'm always going to tell you that it should be about 1 to 5% max. You know, 10% is kind of pushing it, but some people do 10% as well. Let's see, Dion said Biden just cut the lead in GA in Georgia for 3K. Still good 30K ballots left. I still want to do FTMO and all that, but it's hard to keep proper stash of money and call. Yeah, no, it's different for you, Dion, because you're in college. Like, you know, that's when I started trading stocks actually, when I was in college. And I was trading with a small ass account. I was trading with I started with 200 to $500, and I grew that account to like maybe like 20K until like I blew a lot of it on this stock that went to shit. Like they filed for bankruptcy right after I bought it because I was messing with penny stocks. And then ever since that happened, I was like, I'm not messing with any of these stocks anymore. So I went to Forex. But let's see, we're gonna go to the Guardian right here. Yeah, so Dion mentioned that Biden just cut the lead. Let's see what he's talking about. Dang, it's a close one for Georgia. Wait, did he cut the lead? It shows that Trump is still ahead. Here, refresh this. Dang, bro, it's 99%. Yeah, Dion, that's crazy. So like with that stock, it was for like a restaurant group. You know, obviously you're like, okay, these restaurant groups are cool. They're not gonna freaking go bankrupt like in like 10 minutes. So I literally I bought the stock. I was still in college. I bought the stock. I went to the gym. Dude, while I was at the gym, I started getting all these notifications on my phone. It's like, you know, it's dropping like 10%, 20%. And they filed for bankruptcy literally like 10 minutes after I bought the stock. And I did my research on the stock. There was like no hints that I was going to go bankrupt. And then I guess there was like some sort of fraud going on within the company. And then, you know, that was that. So after that happened, I was like, I don't really mess with penny stocks anymore, or even stocks in general. That's when I moved to options. And then from options, I moved to Forex. But yeah, I mean, Georgia is super close. You know, I don't know if this just keeps updating as we talk, but it looks like, yeah, it's only off by like a few thousand votes right there. Let's see. Yeah, man, trust me. I tried to call TD Ameritrade. I was like, yo, I'd never put that order in. I tried to get a refund on that trade, but they were like, nope. You put your trade in, you got to take your loss, bro. And I was like, well, fuck you guys then. And I mean, that was that for stocks for me. And then yeah, after that, I started buying blue chip stocks, like the bigger ones, and I would just hold them. And then I trade options as well on the side. But yeah, man, I'm looking at the map right now. Yeah, I'm still like wondering what's going on with Nevada, bro. Like, he looks like he has North Carolina. Pennsylvania is already locked in too. Yeah, Georgia's crazy, man. It's a close race. Yeah, so the city I'm from is carrying Biden to the promised land. Oh yeah, I forgot you're from out there, huh? That's where you're going to school. Georgia. See, Velocity said, have you ever thought of doing some trading firm where you trade and it places the same trades on someone's account similar to the collective program? Yeah, Velocity. So I have that available right now. It's only available to family and friends. And there's a couple people in K2 that actually hopped on it early. So they're actually still on it right now. So they pretty much take all of my US 30 trades. but I'm not taking anybody new. I'm pretty much going to close it off. Like once people stop, paying for their monthly thing on that, I'm not going to open it up anymore. Because the problem with it is that there's just too many errors that happen. Well, no, okay, so this is the real issue. The real issue is the price difference with FTMO and the normal accounts. So what happens is I have my FTMO account, and then I have those trades copied to my personal Hugo's Way account. And then I also have it copied to other people's personal trading accounts as well. But it's just been an issue lately because of the pricing difference with FTMO and normal brokers. So I don't think it's something that I can continue unless unless I figure out a way around it. But yeah, I'm probably not going to take anyone else new into that until I could probably figure out how to fix that. Because obviously I don't want to mess with people's money, like especially when I'm trading US 30. Like one thing I can't do with that program is I can't scalp with it, because when I scalp, I get in and out of trades so fast that some people's brokers just they won't be able to follow exactly what I do. So that's why I don't scalp with it. I only take my FTMO trades on there, which are the daily US 30 entries. See what I want to check out gold again. Is gold still dropping? Whew, look at gold, man. Dang, that's crazy, guys. That's exactly what I mentioned. See, it's gonna come down and it's gonna stop everyone out. And what's funny? Like some people are gonna be so dumb, they're just gonna buy right here because they're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna buy the dip, and the dip's not gonna stop dipping. It's gonna keep dipping like way down here, and people are gonna get stopped out because this is a big move. Let's see, from here to the next zone is still about like almost 100 pips, and then from where price currently is to the zone below that, that's like 100 pips. So yeah, that's crazy. See how that plays out. But yeah, man, look at Dion over here. He gets me like intrigued with gold, then he gets me intrigued with whatever we were talking about before, whatever asset, and then now I'm looking at the freaking elections. Now I'm like waiting to see what happens here. Dang, that's crazy. When did Georgia start counting again? I thought they all stopped, but it looks like Georgia is about to be done. Dion said, laugh my fucking ass off. I'm one of those people that used to buy those types of dips. Trust me, bro. I feel like everyone has been through that phase. It's like the FOMO phase, because the thing is, you see this huge move up, and then you're like, oh, if I take a buy, nothing can go wrong, right? And then it just ends up like your stop loss is like right here, and it just breaks right through your stop loss and then keeps dropping. You're like, damn. And then what happens is you enter a sell, right? So you're like right here. I mean, you enter a sell because you try to catch this little FOMO move. And then as soon as you enter a sell, it shoots right back up. And you're like, damn, what did I do wrong? Honestly, I've been through that one too many times. So you're not alone, bro. Dion said, they said GA should be finished by tonight or tomorrow midday. Bro, they're at 99% already. What's the delay? And we'll see. I think you said it was like cut the lead to 3K. Yeah, 30,000 ballots left. So if there's 30,000 ballots, that's dude, that's crazy. That's like 16 electoral college votes too. So I mean, this could be the game changer. Joe wins this, he's done. So yeah, so that was right with gold today. Yeah, I mean, that's horrible. I hate when that happens. But the thing is, you got to break away from that. You can't keep falling for that same trap. Look at this drop, man. This is crazy. Said I'm kind of hurt because you're describing how I used to trade. Yeah, bro. No, for sure. Backblaze. Let's download that later. But yeah, no. I mean, I used to trade. I feel like everyone has gone through that phase before where they think that it can do no wrong. Even like right here, price is coming down. And I'm sure that people are like, oh yeah, I'm gonna buy this little dip where it shoots up and then drops back down. Like right here is classic. Because if you're looking at this here, you're like, okay, cool. It's you know, it's a lower low, and then it's a lower low right here, and then you're like, okay, it's a lower high. So you're like, oh yeah, you know, obviously it's going to come down. There's no other way that could happen, right? So you enter a short position right here. You have your stop loss at the swing, and then it shoots to the moon. I mean, I feel like this has happened to like literally everybody. Velocity said, have you ever thought about doing like motivational talks here? Because I get motivated to scalp and trade on my own coming to these webinars. Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, you know, I think for the future webinars, I should probably focus more on, you know, more of these talks versus just analyzing, because I feel like a lot of people just don't get trade psychology. Like whenever people tell me that they hit stop loss or they exited trades too early, and I'm like, well, did you follow the exit strategy? And then it just goes silent because they weren't following the exit strategy. The thing is, if I could like help you guys with, well, not you specifically, but, you know, other people in K2 with trade psychology and more so just following directions, a lot of people could be way more successful trading, because the thing with the K2 strategy is that it's so simple that people think that they need to do something extra, you know? Like I have like very simple requirements that need to be followed. It's like a 4-step process for most strategies, but everyone's like, okay, I got to add price action to this, or I got to add all these extra things. And in reality, if you just stuck to the plan and to the rules, you know, a lot of people could trade successfully, you know, doing the bare basics. But yeah, I think I'm probably going to be doing this more often when we have the webinars, just to get you guys in the right mindset. You know, I've been trading for like 10 years now, so I have this mindset ingrained in my head. When I hit a stop loss, I'm not crying over it, because, you know, it happens. And the thing is, I understand that it happens. A lot of people don't understand that. So they want to over leverage on a trade, and then they blow their account on one trade, and then now they're upset because they didn't follow the rules. But yeah, I think I should definitely, you know, keep doing this like an open forum. We just hang out in the morning, and then we can just talk about trades or talk about trade psychology or pretty much anything really. Because I'm on the computer anyway, so I might as well just go on the screen with you guys. But yeah, I think that's it for here. So I'm still looking at gold right here because I just want to see this play out to see that the whole analysis was good. But we'll see how that plays out. I'm also curious with the election here. Let's see. Sierra said, did you look at your USD? It's coming to a zone. I haven't looked at it yet, so I'll take a look at it right now. Let's see. Your USD. So this is an entry that I looked at, what was it, this morning? Yeah. So I looked at this entry this morning. Thankfully, I didn't call it because look what happened to it right here. You know what? I don't know why it's coming down. It's weird, but it did come down. And then I would have thought that it would have rejected off here, but it's still stuck in this area. So what I probably see happening here is if price comes up and then breaks above this zone right here. So if we have a bullish candle that pushes up and then closes above this zone right here, then we can enter a long position right there. And then we can ride that to the next zone for about 40 pips. That's what I see happening there for Euro USD. But if it breaks below it, so say if it continues down, right? If this breaks below this zone right here and then closes right here, then it's probably going to continue down further. But the problem with this is that it's too close to these next zones, so I wouldn't take this trade for that reason specifically, because even if you took a sell right here, it's only about a 13 pip move, so it's going to be kind of risky for you to take that trade unless you're scalping it. Andrew said, "Is it wrong to set my stop lot, my lot size based on the amount?" That's funny, Andrew. It's funny that you mentioned that, because I used to trade that way for the longest too. Yeah, it's I mean, if you can, so if you're going to do that, I would just I would also take into consideration your risk, because if your risk is too high, so look, here's a breakdown of why I always recommend 5% risk, because if you're taking 5% risk, or not even 5%, 3% risk. So if you're taking 3% risk and you divide that by 100%, Oh, sorry. Okay, so 100% times 0.03. Dude, my math sucks. I'm trying to figure out how many times we have to take a, okay, no, I think I know what it is. Yeah, so if you're taking 3% risk, you literally would have to have like 33 back-to-back losses for you to blow your account. So this is why when I see people blow their accounts, I'm like, how is it even possible? We don't even have 33 losses in like a whole year, a whole month, you know? Like if you look at all of our results here, it's because people over leverage. Like if you look at all of the results for October, like literally October, there was 8 losses. It's impossible for you to blow your account if you're doing 3%. If you're doing like, we don't even have that many losses for like in any month this whole year. So for someone to blow their account trading 3%, it's like, it doesn't make any sense. Like when people tell me they follow the rules and they follow the exit strategy and all that, even with like Fatif, like the funny thing with Fatif, I'm not trying to talk bad about Fatif, but he mentions the same thing every single week. He's like, bro, I'm not profitable. And I'm like, did you follow the exit strategy? And he's like, no. I'm like, if you follow the exit strategy, you would have still been in profit. Because even for October, we have 43 wins. If you took TP1 for every single trade, so let's see, on average, our TP1 is probably like, it's probably about like 20 pips, right? Sorry, 20 pips times 43 wins. It'd still be like 860 pips if you were to take TP1 for every single trade. And then, so that's 860 pips profit. And then say here we have like 8 losses, right? Our stop loss isn't always 100 pips. I don't know where that number came from, but our average stop loss is probably around 60 pips. So 8 losses times 60 pips, you would only have a loss of 480 pips. So the thing is, if you subtract 860 from taking just TP1 from every single trade minus 480, you'd still be in profit at the end of the month. So I don't understand when people like come up with negative results at the end of the month. Even if you're taking TP1, you'd still be in profit. Like I could break down the math for everybody, but like people just don't get it. And I know the reason why people are negative is because they're over leveraging. So going back to your question, Andrew, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say it's wrong for you to set your lot size based on the profit that you want, but make sure that it's within the same risk percentage. Like make sure it's within 1 to 5% max, right? Because if you go over that, then you can blow your account pretty quickly, depending on how big your account is. So like, if you're doing 10%, that's like 10 trades. Sierra said, all I go for is TP1. Yeah, that's TP1 is fine. I mean, if you want to just be safe and just collect profits, you could still be profitable, because looking at all of the results for the entire year, 83 wins versus 21 losses, 33 wins versus 18 losses, it'll still equate to being in profit at the end of the month. And the real key here is to just be profitable at the end of every month and to compound those profits. Because you can see here from like January, we had like 1,700 pips, at the end of the month. February, same, it's 500 pips. Literally, if you just keep adding these profits together and they keep compounding, it'll add up to something nice. Like if you look at the totals here for the year, if you're taking a standard lot, which is doable for a lot of people, you could have been up like 100,000 already this year, even if you're doing a mini lot. And this isn't taking into consideration the compounding that happens when you grow your account size. Because the thing is, you'll go from like 1 mini lot to 2 mini lots, a 5 mini lot, up to standard lots, So your account's going to keep growing over time if you just continue to, do things properly. But yeah, going back to your question, Andrew, just make sure that your risk is on point. You can do what you want with regard to your lot size relevant to your profit, but just make sure that you're not going over 10%. 10% is like, that's like asking for a blown account basically, because you'd have like 10 losses and then you blow your account. If you do 5%, you still have, let's see. So 100 divided by 5, you still have to lose 20 back-to-back losses, which doesn't happen, unless like you just take bad trades. Let's see. Yeah, Sierra said he does make you feel like you can do it. Yeah, because the thing with trading is it's really possible. You know, like me, I'm not a very smart guy. Like, you know, a lot of people might think that I'm smart because I'm a lawyer, but I went through a lot of struggle to get to that point. And I also went through a lot of trouble to get good at trading. But the thing is, I love trading, and it's like something that I do every day. So the thing is, if you have a passion for trading, it's totally possible for you to be successful if you do things properly. The real thing is like doing things properly, because a lot of people like to take shortcuts, and if you take shortcuts, you know, you're going to get short prizes. Let's see, Sierra said, Andrew, just know you can lose a lot. Yeah, no, definitely. Sierra said, who's that in the picture box? That's me, Sierra. That's me live right now. I'm here in my office. Let's see. Dejan said, man, my bad, Dejan. I've been calling you Dion this whole night, bro. I don't know why you didn't correct me, but I've been calling you Dion this whole night. And you're Dejan, you're not Dion. But yeah, Dion. Sorry, I was gonna call you Dion again. Dejan said max lot size is a mini lot for him, which is that's perfectly fine. You know, like looking at the results here, if you just took a mini lot for every trade, you still be up like 16,000. So depending on your lot size, you know, your profit potential is going to be reflective of, you know, the type of lot size that you're taking per trade. Let's see. Kiki said, is there any trade call on? Not currently. We don't have any trades right now. We did analyze a bunch of stuff, but there's no signals that are running right now. Not sure if you're aware, but today's Thursday, so the volatility in the market's going to be slow as we enter the weekend. Also, the elections are still going on, so you're going to see some crazy movements in price, like with gold right here that we were just watching. You know, we're anticipating this to be manipulated down for a stop loss hunt before it shoots right back up. So I wouldn't trade gold if you're looking at gold right now. One trade that we are possibly looking at taking would be US 30 right here. We are possibly probably looking for like a sell. So if this closes below this zone right here, then I would probably take a short position and then ride that to down here. But this is probably the only thing that we're really looking at, because the elections can cause price to literally go anywhere. But yeah, guys, it's getting close to 6, so I'm probably gonna go make some dinner right now, take my dog for a walk. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me on Telegram. Maybe when I get back, I'll probably hop back on. But since it's Thursday, the market's moving super slow, so I'm not expecting much to happen from now until then. Otherwise, if I do see this entry right here on US 30 fulfill, then I'll probably send out an unofficial call in the chat so that you guys can, you know, possibly take it. But it's gonna, like, I'm gonna tell you guys now that a sell position is probably gonna be super risky here until something happens with the election, like with Jonathan. Shawn knows how to cook. Of course, man, I know how to do everything, bro. Literally. I'm just kidding. Not cooking as in calling yeah, I'm gonna send it to the group. I'm gonna show you guys that I know how to cook using Uber Eats over here. See, John said, what's the target on US 30? So John, for well, it depends. So if we're taking this sell right here, then we'd probably want to write it down here. But I'll have more details as we get close to it, because I don't think price is going to come down. Honestly, personally, I thought it was going to come down when price was over here, but it doesn't look like it's going to come down anymore. But if it does, I'll probably give it the target. I'll have to figure it out, because it's going to be based on the specific movement here. So say if we were entering a sell right here, right? Then our stop would be at the swing right here, which would be about like 140, like 1400 pips. So our TP might be down there as well for a 1-to-1 risk. However, the new strategy that I was going over earlier for US 30, it's going to be a little different. We're going to have it pushed to like a certain area. But yeah, John, for this one right here, this would probably be the you know, the target for us. However, I don't really I'm not too sure if this is going to come down here. Honestly, I think it's probably going to keep pushing up, because it's been pushing up for a while. We could even look at the sentiment to make sure to see, let's see, US 30 sentiment. Oops, it's the wrong one. Sentiment for, there we go. Oh, wow. Okay. So check this out. There's actually 68% of people that are short. So a lot of people are anticipating US 30 to come down. So depending on how the sentiment works, say if the sentiment stays short below 70%, then I can see it drop a little further down. I can see it continue dropping. However, if this sentiment gets too big and it goes up to like 75%, like we were looking at gold earlier, like this, then we can anticipate it to do the opposite because the banks and institutions want to make money. So they're going to make money and trade the opposite of where everyone's trading. So I have an alert set here. So if I do get that alert, I'll probably let you guys know. However, I don't know if it's really going to drop that further because now that we've looked at the sentiment, there's a lot of people that are actually shorting US 30 right now. So the thing is, that might be too risky to hop in because they might mess with you and so what they might do is bring price down a little bit. People enter the sells, they spike price up, stop everyone out, and then they drop it back down. So I'd be careful with US 30 right now just because of the sentiment. It's getting closer to the 70%, which is like the sweet spot for when they start to determine the direction they push price. But we'll just have to take it as it is. Oh, John, sorry. It's at 28,100. But so that's not going to be the specific thing because look, John, if price closes, so this is me anticipating that price closes right there, right? But if price closes lower, like down here, then it's going to be totally different. It's going to be like, push this back a little further, push this down a little further. It might be even lower. So it's going to vary until price gets to that specific price point because we don't know where price is going to close below this zone right here. It's either going to close really like way below or it's going to close like right there. But we're not really going to know until it actually happens. So once it does happen, then I'll probably send you guys a message and then maybe we'll all take that trade. But until then, we're just going to wait for it. I do have the alert set here. So if that does close, I'll, make sure to let you guys know. Oh man, check this out though. Look, however, if this closes as a buy, then this is going to be a pivot entry right here. So it's like, man, I personally would probably take this pivot entry over that sell, but I mean, we'll have to wait and see because I don't even know if it's going to close. Price comes up, price comes down, rejection, buy. Yeah, I would probably take this pivot entry, honestly. Chart looks kind of messy here, but I mean, we'll have to wait and see how this plays out because there's a lot of scenarios here. So John, if you want to take this pivot entry, oh, look at that spiking up right now. See, that's what I always talk about when I say to look at the sentiment, because the thing is, if there's majority of people short, the banks and institutions are going to do the complete opposite. So it's probably going to be, if we get this pivot entry, probably see this thing shoot right up right there. Man, I might even take it myself. Let me get my phone ready. Take this on my MT4. I might just take it for like a small scalp. I might not even hold it for that long. We got 2 minutes left. So yeah, before I hop off, I'm going to stay on here real quick and maybe take this with you guys. Well, let's see. So let's play chess for that 15-minute US 30 strategy. Yeah, I'll let you know. Velocity. I want to share with you guys, but we'll see. I have to do a lot of testing. I want to make some profit off it first. And then, we'll see if we release it to you guys. Or I'll see with that anonymous K² member to see if he wants to release it to you guys because he actually created it. That strategy was actually one that I used before I created the indicators. But now that we have the momentum indicator, it gives us a huge advantage in the market because we're able to basically pinpoint, which direction to trade. Because before I would run that strategy, and when price would break these zones, I wouldn't know the direction of momentum. So sometimes I would see price break a zone in the opposite direction. And then I'm like, all right, cool, I'll take a trade that way. And then it ends up swinging back in the other way because momentum was actually moving in the opposite direction. Let's see, we got a minute left on this candle. Yeah, this is actually going to be a nice pivot entry because there's a lot of confirmations here. So we have a confirmation where it rejects off the K2SR right here. It also rejects off the K2 pivots. On top of that, sentiment is short. So it's going to help us if we're taking this trade because you're probably going to go opposite of sentiment. Dejan said the Anan is Aaron. I don't know what that means, but yeah. Dejan said, don't tell me you spend $30 on a $10 meal. No, I don't, bro. But you know, the thing is, with my credit cards, with what's it called? With my American Express card, we get like this, I think it's like a $30 credit per month. So like technically every month I could get like one free meal from Uber Eats. So I do use that sometimes, but I don't really, I was joking. I don't really order Uber Eats. You know, I like to get my lazy ass out of the house sometimes and just go buy the food myself if I ever want to buy something. So yeah, unfortunately guys, we were waiting for this to close. It didn't close. So there's no entry available right now. However, it is 6 o'clock, so I'm gonna go grab dinner right now or make some dinner. I'm gonna see what I got in my freezer because Dejan wants to see what I'm eating. But yeah, guys, so I'm gonna be on the Telegram. So if you guys have any questions, just meet up with me on Telegram. Otherwise, I might come back online a little later. I'm gonna see if there is anything worth taking. If I see this right here closed, then maybe I'll send this trade out like an unofficial pivot entry. Otherwise, we will probably link up tomorrow, so we can possibly take that the daily US 30 entry in the morning. Hopefully, it's a good one. But yeah, so yeah, guys, thanks for showing up. You know, I'm gonna try to do this a little more often. I was telling you guys that, you know, I'll possibly start doing this in the morning during the US session, since I'm on the computer anyway, so I might as well just hop on. If you guys want to ask questions, I can just answer them live. But yeah, so yeah, guys, thanks for showing up. I'll send this link out in a little bit if you guys want to rewatch it. Otherwise, I will catch you guys in the Telegram chat. But yeah, guys, I'll catch you guys